What's up, everybody, and welcome back to HOA. Kinsey, how are you doing? What's going on in New York, man?
It's been hot. I don't know where it came from, but it's going away because next week is like going back down to the 50s, 60s. But like this whole week, it was like 80s, mid 80s. So probably might try to get some basketball in, training my end CJ McCollum.
So you're gonna miss more shots than points scored. Okay, that's
I'm
cool.
gonna
Hey,
I'm gonna
what,
boogie and make mid range shots.
what an accomplishment, man! You took 19 shots and you scored 12 points. Great job. Really impressive stuff. Too bad he didn't show up when Brandon Ingram needed him multiple times this year. um, Other than that, man, we are in our playoff preview. This is the great time of the year. This week we had play-in basketball. We had some very competitive games. We had some good comebacks. We had some really bad basketball at times. In clutch time, Minnesota might be the worst clutch offense I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
they just play silly.
I mean, Anthony Edwards completely disappeared in that game. And then later that night, OKC was that second half for Shea was
Yeah,
really impressive to pull out that win over the Pelicans. And then tonight we've got the Bulls and the Heat. I'm picking the Bulls to upset the Heat tonight,
yeah, I got the
and
Bulls too.
then Minnesota versus OKC. I'll tell you what, man. I like Cat. I think he gets a lot of criticism, but he's just there's just something he's missing. And
Mhm.
when you can't get the ball in a post up with 3 minutes to go in the game,
With
and
Austin Reeves on you,
you're trying to take guys off the dribble at the top of the key at 7 foot, like there's only a couple of guys that are ever going to be able to do that, and Cat's not one of them. That
yeah.
just I'm gonna take OKC in an upset tonight. I want SGA just to go crazy tonight.
But what's sad about Cat is that first half, he was doing one-legged floaters from out the paint, step back, one-legged mid ranges, fadeaways over AD. Like he's nice. It's
Yeah.
just he just goes through these lulls where he just looks like an average center.
And I don't know if that's like partially his teammates' fault that all of a sudden
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't get those same touches in the second or fourth quarter. Um, but yeah, he looked like prime Dirk
And
there for the first half,
yeah,
and all of a sudden he couldn't do anything
and
else.
and speaking of Edward struggles, this is kind of like why some of the old heads like that and just enjoyed 70s and 80s kind of don't like the game today. It's because Anthony Edwards, your three wasn't falling. You're an amazing athlete. You have no in between game. Like there were no mid range pull ups, nothing you can go to. It's your dunking or it's a three.
Yeah.
You just gotta have some variety.
Um, and like, I just I also want to shout out Zach Levine.
Yeah,
Um, his third quarter the other night against the why am I drawing a blank
Raptors.
against the Raptors? Insane how hot he can get in his shot making when he's like locked in.
Yeah,
Zach Levine is a incredible
yeah.
scorer.
He's definitely one of the best microwaves in the league.
It's just unfortunate that he can't do that for 4 quarters. It always feels like it's
Yeah, like
like
he
an
have these
outburst.
bursts.
Like, why is he not more consistent? Like, if he was a more consistent player, there's no reason he couldn't be an all-star every year. I know the East is pretty loaded at his spot, but he's got that talent to do it every year. It's just the consistency over 4 quarters he doesn't have all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get right into the playoffs, man. It's starting this weekend. Play-ins finishing tonight. What is the best matchup in the first round of the playoffs for you?
Outside of Knicks Cavs, because obviously we're both like mad hyped to see that.
Yeah.
I honestly have to go Suns Clippers. I think a lot of people just expect that to be a wash, but I don't know. As crazy and as inefficient as Westbrook can be, if you tell him he's going against Chris Paul and KD, I really think he's going to get up for that. And you could argue Kawhi is still the best player on the court, so that's just something I'm really excited to see.
Um, I think if Paul George was playing, I would feel the same way you do. I think it's a lot to ask Kawhi to beat KD and Booker in the same series. That's a lot to ask. He can only, I mean, he can match up with one of them. I agree, but matching up with both of them plus the help of Paul and Aiton, I think they have an advantage. Um, I think that's going to be if Paul George could maybe get back after game 2, I think that could go 7, but it really depends on the health of the Clippers. Like you said, the best matchup for us is definitely Cavs and Knicks, but I'm going to give some light to Kings and Warriors. I think this could be better than a lot of people think because both teams score at a crazy rate.
Yeah.
The scoring in this series is going to be very interesting to see. Neither team is good defensively. There's just a lot of flaws on defense for both teams.
Right.
Wiggins is coming back. He is on a minutes restriction, but I don't know if Wiggins fixes a defense that just is terrible. Like they're just bad. The Kings are gonna have to blitz. They're gonna have to trap. They're gonna have to really try to force Jordan Poole to make mistakes because I think Steph's gonna be able to lock in and not make those stupid regular season mistakes he's known to do.
He plays so careless.
I mean, their entire team plays careless. They're just they're turnover machines. If they continue that, the Kings will outscore them. Like they're capable of outscoring them. They are the best scoring team in the league for a reason. And Sabonis absolutely shreds Golden State when they play. I don't know.
I think Looney might be able to hold his own.
Look at the stats, dude. He crushes them on the boards, and it's just going to be interesting to see how they guard Sabonis in the paint. Do they go small and have Draymond guard him, or do they leave Looney in, who he has a lot of success against Looney when you look at the numbers? I think that series is a lot more interesting than people think. They're giving the Warriors a lot of credit. That is the worst road team in the league by a wide margin.
They'll be all right. It's playoff time. They'll lock in.
I think it's going to be interesting when we pick who wins there. I think we both know who we've picked already, but seeing the amount of games is going to be interesting. So let's get right into it. First things first, we're going to start in the East. Bucks versus the winner of Miami and Chicago. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say we both have the Bucks winning.
Yeah.
How many games do you have them getting it done in?
Last year I know the Bucks played the Bulls. Was that a sweep or was that 5?
I believe it was 5.
Well, then I think they'll get rid of the Bucks. I mean, not the Bucks. They get rid of the Heat or the Bulls in 5 games. Milwaukee, they have 3 All NBA level players. If Chris Middleton, he's been running back into form, and they just had nothing for Giannis. So I got the Bucks in 5.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the Bucks in 4. I don't even think they mess around with them this year. I don't even think it matters that Middleton's rounding back in. Like, I just think this series he can just work on himself, and they'll just, no matter what, they're going to win this series. I think they get it done in a sweep. So yeah, Bucks in 4 for me. That shouldn't. There's nothing Chicago or Miami could do to make me worry about them being the Bucks. Let's just get into it right now. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the 4 seed in the East, play the 5 seed, the New York Knicks. This is a really important and really important series for this podcast alone. Kenzie, tell me why the Knicks are going to win this series.
Here's why the Knicks are going to win this series. Honestly, for one, they got more shot makers. Even if you want to say Mitchell or Brunson, the next 2 best shot creators in the series will have to be Randle and then Quickly. And then you could go like,
what?
I know you think about Darius Garland. He's not a better shot creator than Randle.
How?
He's not a better bucket than Julius Randle.
How is he not better than Quickly? He's better than what?
I don't know, because when Quickly starts, his numbers look Garland-esque, but okay.
No, they don't. Okay. No, they do not.
They look like 21 and 8. But even if I would grant Garland being above Quickly in terms of scoring, after that the gap is huge. Like, who's next? Caris LeVert? Is Caris LeVert really a better shot creator than RJ Barrett? No, I don't think so.
Which RJ Barrett are we getting?
Yeah, that's the key. So I think the Knicks have the better shot creators in the series. Defense, I'll edge it to y'all, but I don't think it's going to be a gap in a playoff setting. Mitchell Robinson is basically Jared Allen without a throw.
Yeah.
And then Mobley, Mobley's a way better defender than Randle, but The Knicks have the RJ, Quentin Grimes, McBride. I already said RJ. Quickly plays defense. Randall, he's not the best defender, but he's physical, so that's a good defender. I just think they got it in 6. I think they're gonna close out in the Garden. I think they got it in 6.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. The Cavs have the best player in the series. They have the best defender in the series. It's about the bench. Can the bench knock down a couple threes each game to keep the rest of the Knicks honest? And that's really the thing. If Okoro and Wade and Osman can knock down a couple threes each game, I don't see how the Knicks can beat the Cavs. I have the Cavs in 6. I think this has got to be a coming out party for Evan Mobley. I know Randall has bullied him a little bit in the regular season, but you know what's coming now. Like, there's no excuse for him to bully you now. You know what he's going to do. And here's the thing. If Randall's remotely cold, it doesn't matter. You don't even have to get a hand up because he's going to take a step back 3, and
that's something that obviously, besides RJ, what scares me most is Randall getting in his own head. Because, like, I don't know how many Knicks games you watch, but like when he gets frustrated, it really affects his play. So if like he feels like he gets a few non-calls on like Mobley or Allen like blocking his shot of playing defense, he's gonna keep shooting and he's gonna get texts. So that's what scares me most, even to be honest, more than RJ.
And that's the thing. You guys have Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's gonna show up every game. He's gonna get you 20, whatever. But you guys got RJ Barrett, who could just be ice cold, and Randall, who could just be off, and it just is not.
Yeah,
and that would I know Mitchell's going to show up. I know Mitchell's going to get me 25 to 30. Garland's going to, he is a little bit of an outlier in the clutch, but up until then, I can trust him to have 8 to 9 assists and 15 plus points. It really comes down to, can these guys stay consistent and can they make shots? And if New York can make shots, then we're not going to beat you guys. It's just not.
Who's the better defender out of the two in your backcourt? Because I hope the Knicks aren't going to have Brunson on Mitchell the whole game. I think they're going to put Grimes on him.
Okoro is going to guard Brunson. I would assume Mitchell will guard Barrett and Garland will guard Grimes because Grimes is just a shooter. So
he just catch and shoot, occasionally cut.
You don't get hurt as bad with Garland guarding him, and Mitchell can be physical, so I'm not worried about RJ really.
Or the RJ post-ups.
Yeah, no, I mean Mitchell's well put together for being only 6'3". Like he's a physical dude himself, so I'm not really worried. I'm not worried about RJ Barrett, guys. The matchup is Brunson and Randall versus Garland and Mitchell. It's got who can outscore who.
Yeah. Brunson
had a great game, but you got to remember Okoro wasn't in that game. Okoro has the size and the length to give Brunson problems on his shots. Like when we played him last time, Brunson was taking easy shots where he could just pull up and not worry about length or the size to guard him.
Yeah. Who's the 7th man? Because off the bench, Quickly and Obi going to have to play huge roles. I know you got Karras. Who's 7th?
Karras usually comes in, and then it depends, but it's usually Rubio is right there, and then it just depends on if there's any foul trouble. Because if Dean Wade would probably be the 8th guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, Seti, then Dean Wade. So Karras, Seti, Rubio, and then Dean Wade. But the rotations are going to be shortened up, so it's
right. Yeah, I hope Brunson ready because Tibbs is about to have him out there for 42 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've had that conversation because Brunson, it's going to be hard to have Brunson off the court for extended periods of time. So, all right, you got Knicks in 6. I've got Cavs in 6. It's going to be a good one. I'm ready for tomorrow already. Let's move on. Sixers versus Nets in the 3-6 matchup.
Now, I have Philly, but I don't think it's going to be the cakewalk that it's being portrayed to be. There's always that one series that people just think is going to be a wash, in each conference. Obviously, out west, some people have the Warriors over the Kings easily. I think the East Coast series that's going to be close is going to be this one. Okay. It's just it's been a small sample size, but Claxton, he's guarded Embiid good to a degree, obviously without the foul calls. Like he's held them like to decent shooting splits. And Mikhail, he surprised me. I did not know he had that coming from Phoenix. And like I just think like they have a lot of wing bodies to throw at Harden. Like I just said, you got Bridges, you got Royce. It's just like a lot of bodies, so Harden can't play bully ball. And I think the furthest it'll go is 6, but even if it is a 5, I think every game is going to be close. But obviously, I got Philly.
Yeah, I've got Philly also. I think the games could be close and they could still get swept. I don't know. Like Bridges has never had to do this number one option in a playoff series, and it's a different tax on your body every game. Philly has some size they can put on him. They have some options. I think Embiid is going to dominate. I know Claxton's done an okay job, but this is different. Every touch is going to be, and like it's going to be a more amped up emphasis on the touch.
Yeah.
I think Embiid's going to average 35 plus. Like I think he's going crazy.
Yeah. I think especially like the first 2 games at Philly, he might shoot like 40 free throws total.
Yeah, I mean the free throws alone are going to be insane. I mean, I think the goal's got to be to get Claxton in foul trouble right away.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just seems like long, lengthy teams just give Brooklyn trouble because even last year, not Brooklyn, Philly trouble because even last year, remember they was up 3-0 on Toronto, and that almost went 7.
Yeah, that's true. That is a good point. I would just like to hope that Harden doesn't have the issues.
Yeah, I'm actually rooting for Harden.
I mean, he needs to play better in the playoffs. It's pretty simple at this point. So I'm going to take Nets in 4. Are you going 5 or 6?
You mean Philly, but
Philly in 4. Are you going Philly in 5 or 6?
A very competitive 5.
Okay. Then we got the 2 versus 7, Celtics versus Hawks. I hate the Hawks. If Trae Young got traded right after the series got over, I wouldn't be surprised.
I got Boston in 5. I think since they live and die by the 3 so much, I just think they're gonna have one game where they're cold and Trae Young's floater is on. So I'm gonna just say that Boston in 5. I think there's gonna be like probably 2-3 lopsided games.
I've got Celtics in 5 also. I don't think they don't have anything for the Boston. Boston has to shoot themselves in the foot for it to really be close.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump over to the West. Starting off, Nuggets versus the winner of Minnesota and OKC. How do you see that one going down?
If it's OKC, I think it's a sweep. To be honest,
they don't have any big guys.
Yeah. If it's the T-Wolves, I could see like a calm 5. Like I could see Ant or Cat having like a 35+ point game, but I got the Nuggets.
Yeah, I have the Nuggets either way, and I took the Nuggets either way in 4. I just really hated what I saw from the Timberwolves late in that game, a playoff game. And then OKC, they just don't have a big man. Jokic, there's no reason Jokic won't have a triple-double every game and have 15 rebounds, if not more. I mean, look at what Valanciunas did against them. He had, 17 rebounds?
Yeah, he was.
And if he was better, a little bit better offensively, it could have been a lot worse. So yeah, Nuggets in 4 for me. No surprise either way. Suns versus Clippers. This is one of the series you highlighted. I think the Clippers' health matters a lot. It really does have to matter.
Yeah.
Because if Kevin Durant's on, it could be over. It could be over quick. So how do you see it going down? Who's winning this one for you?
I think either game 1 or game 2 is going to be like a 15-point Suns victory. But outside of that, I think every game is like going to come down to like the final 5 minutes. It's just when Russ met CP3 in the playoffs, he did outplay him. Granted, 8-9 years ago, but like Russ, he could still hoop. Like it's really showing that the Lakers was just a terrible fit. Because although he has been like MVP Russ on the Clippers, he's been good. He's been like 15, 6 and 5, and like with Chris Paul declining, and then I don't think Chris Paul could like chase and keep up with Russ for the whole series. And then Booker's obviously the X factor because I think Kawhi and KD are going to cancel each other out. Zubac, obviously he's not as talented as Ayton, but Ayton sometimes runs hot and cold, where Zubac is more so consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have it being 6. I don't think it's people act like the Clippers have absolutely no shot. I could easily see this being like 2-2 maybe, but I have the Suns.
Okay, you have Suns in 6.
Yeah.
I have the Suns in 5. I don't think they can beat them without Paul George. We don't know when Paul George is coming back.
You don't think Kawhi could channel that 2019 Raptor run?
No, because he didn't have to play Devin Booker and Kevin Durant in that run. And he played a injured Warriors team.
He did average almost 30 with Jimmy, prime Ben Simmons, and Embiid guarding him. So he can still get it. And like the Suns,
but I have a problem with that because you downplay everything Jimmy does in the playoffs. So that ruins your argument right there.
He could play defense.
And Ben Simmons has shown that he is frightened of his own shadow.
That was pre-retcon Ben Simmons.
And so you trying to use Jimmy Butler to strengthen your argument does not work here for me. I do want to see the matchup. KD versus Kawhi. That's money. But Devin Booker if he's not the best shooting guard in the league, he is the second best shooting guard in the league. He is what you think CJ McCollum is. He is a bucket. In any shape, form of the word, he is a bucket. He is a better bucket in every way than CJ McCollum. It's just a fact.
Post game, that's it. Post game,
the numbers.
Oh, yeah, better post game. That's all you got. Better post game.
The numbers literally don't lie. He's a better 3-point shooter. He's a better scorer. He's a more efficient scorer. He's just better by a long shot at this point. Suns in 5. If the Clippers make it 6, it's because Paul George came back and had a really big game. Kings and Warriors. This one we've gone back and forth in private. Hey, I've got the Kings in 6. Light the beam.
Golden State. I clearly have them, although it's going 6. I think the Kings are going to have one game where they're just out of their mind. I think they're also going to get another game because Warriors foolishness, 18-19 turnovers, Curry or Clay's cold. But I don't think the series is really ever going to be in doubt. Golden State in 6.
If it's 2-0 going back to Golden State in favor of the Kings, what are you going to say? Because if they don't steal one on the road, they're screwed. They're done.
If it starts with the Kings up 2-0, I'm taking my talents to FanDuel, placing the Warriors to still win that series, and I'm going to be good. They're not losing the series. You don't go from winning the finals losing in the first round unless something major happened.
Yeah, the major thing that happened is they are the worst defensive team in the league.
I think they would just coast and they'll turn it on. They've been winning since 2014-15 season. They're just like, whatever, let's just get to the dance and we'll hoop when we get there.
That's not how they used to play, and you know that. All right. So you said what? Warriors in 6?
Yeah.
I'm actually going Kings in 7. Sorry, I want the Warriors to lose that 7th game on the road to prove that it was not a fluke all year that they were god awful on the road.
That'll hurt.
It'll be fantastic.
That'll hurt.
Last round of the first round, Grizzlies versus Lakers. 2 versus 7 matchup. Can the Lakers beat the Grizzlies in 7? I don't think so. I think so.
I think
those guys suck.
With Triple J's foul trouble mixed with the Lakers having like the most free throw differential, if he's fouled out, there's not a soul that could stop Anthony Davis. I also think people like Dylan Brooks, like they try to put him in the same class of like an annoyance, like a Pat Bev or Jose Alvarado. I don't know. I just don't like him. Like I love Pat Bev and Jose, but it's just something about Dylan Brooks. I think he tries to be extra. It's just something about him I don't like, and he's not guarding LeBron. Shannon might be courtside at some games. I got the Lakers.
And how many?
In 6. I think Ja's going to get you one where he's going to have like 30, 35, 40. There's going to be one where we're like Anthony Davis, 13-9. What happened? But outside of that, LeBron's not losing in the first round again. It only happened to the Suns because AD was hurt.
I just don't know what you saw in that Minnesota game that gave you any confidence. Like, they were lucky that Anthony Edwards was terrible. Like I don't know. It was they were down 17 at one point. There was just nothing. There's nothing redeemable about them to me anymore. Anthony Davis has to be really good for 6 games for them to win.
Yeah,
Probably 7 games for them to win, in my opinion. I've got the Grizzlies in 6. I don't see it anymore with the Lakers. I think them winning a title would be one of the all-time upsets for a team to win a title. I just don't think they have it. Kinsey, that's the breakdown of the first round of the playoffs. Obviously, when the second round comes around, we will do the same thing. Let's close out with this. Go ahead.
I was about to say, besides since you have the Kings, so besides that, are there any upsets you could see game one?
Game one?
Yeah, game ones for the Saturday and Sunday games. Are there any upsets you could see?
No, not game ones. But I mean, I guess the Kings beating the Warriors in game one would be considered an upset. But
you can't see the Hawks going to Boston and steal one on the back of Trae Young 36-12.
No, if the Celtics don't win by 15, I'll be upset.
Damn.
The Hawks, there's nothing about them.
Would definitely be picking Hawks plus 15. I don't think they're going to get.
I'm taking the Celtics plus 15 then. There's no way. I don't see it.
What they got if Robert Williams isn't back, they got your man on Kongu.
You didn't even know who he was until I told you who he was.
I definitely don't. But I was like, oh snap, he actually getting numbers. He's actually nice.
Okay. All right. No, do you see somebody pulling an upset then?
It'll have to be.
It would have to be the Lakers beating the Grizzlies if you think they can win.
I wouldn't count that as upset. Because you could still argue the Lakers have the 2 best players in the series. You could argue LeBron, AD, then Ja. So I don't see that's an upset. But if that counts because it's 2-7, then yeah.
Okay, well.
But then again, LeBron game ones he feels it out. So
meh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any upsets right there. I don't know. There's going to be one that I would assume that's going to happen.
I'm calling it. It's going to be Hawks over Boston. It's going to be like a Trae Young. It's going to be like a Trae Young 34-12 5 threes game.
How many coaches does he get fired before the series is over?
Hey man,
does Quinn Snyder keep his job through 5 games?
When it's 1-1 going back to Atlanta, yes.
All right, that is our coverage of the playoff preview. This is something that Kinsey posed earlier that is just absurd, guys. We legitimately want your feedback in the comments. I want the answer. I want to know why you think the way you think. Could J.J. Watt beat Kyle Korver in a game of one-on-one basketball? Please tell me how he wins and how he's shutting down Kyle Korver. And I want the answer in the comments so we can see what you guys all think. I want a legitimate answer because I believe Kyle Korver absolutely torches him.
Outrageous.
I don't know why Kinsey thinks that you can power scale football players and just make whatever happen, whatever. So supposedly Kyle Korver couldn't get a good shot off against J.J. Watt. That's absurd. Absurd. Because he has great hand speed.
At the moment the ball snaps, he's swiping and ripping through like other grown men trying to stop him. You're not telling me Kyle Korver with his 30 ball handling. Like as soon as he put that on the ground,
see how he just did that? He said 30 ball handling. Literally power scales basketball to 2K. Give us your answer. J.J. Watt right now versus Kyle Korver right now in a one-on-one game of basketball. And no, J.J. Watt can't just tackle him every play. There has to be some level of rules. And if you guys want, I will link you a video of J.J. Watt playing against firefighters where he can't make a layup.
He wasn't trying. He likes and respects the service that firefighters do for the community. So it was a charity event.
He is pouring sweat in the video. He tried to do a wraparound layup on this guy and chucked it off the backboard. It was embarrassing.
When JJ catches that ball, turns his back, and starts pounding, Corver is done. And then he's going to Shaq drop step over.
Kyle Korver pulls the chair. JJ Watt ruptures his knee. It's over. All right, guys. That's a fun one. Please let us know in the comments what you guys think. And we will be back next week. Enjoy the playoffs. We will have some more content coming for you this weekend. Other than that, Kenzie, we're out of here, man. See you guys later.